Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Somebody was asking me, how do I know that I am chanting properly? Or in other words, the question is, how do we know that we are chanting and we are advancing and my chanting is working on us? Are there any signs and symptoms by which we can understand that my chanting is going in proper direction and I'm getting real benefit out of chanting? That's the whole idea there. Now the answer to this question is 𝗙𝗶𝗹𝗶 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 42nd verse. Bhagavatam says, 𝗙cie 𝗃𝗍𝗹𝗶 m𝗲𝗱𝗶𝗶 Bhagavatam says that when one does devotion, there are 3 signs. When you are chanting properly, these 3 signs should actually manifest in your life, in your heart, in your mind. And if these 3 signs are manifesting, then you can be sure your chanting is proper. What are these 3 signs? 𝗙cie 𝗃𝗍𝗹𝗶. Just as you eat food, and after eating food, these 3 signs are there, and then you stop eating food. What are those 3 signs? 𝗙cie, satisfaction, you feel satisfied. 𝗙cie, you feel energized. And 𝗃𝗍𝗹𝗶, your hunger is satiated, and then you stop eating. That you know within yourself. Similarly, when we chant properly, there are 3 things happening within you, within your heart. What are those? 𝗙cie. The first is satisfaction. Now, what do we mean by satisfaction in the context of chanting? The meaning is, as we chant, as we advance in chanting, as we go deep in chanting, what's going to happen is you will get satisfaction. Why? Because you will get realizations. This satisfaction is not empty satisfaction. It's not just superficial mental some kind of euphoria. Devotee gets realizations. Realizations are gifts of God, which he receives from God. Those blessings in form of realizations, and then devotee feels satisfied. And then the next thing why he feels satisfied is his service attitude increases for God, leaps and bounds. What does a devotee want? His life is all for service of God, and if his service attitude increases, he'll be more satisfied than anybody else. So that satisfaction is felt in the heart. If this is happening due to realizations and due to increase in service attitude, then you're on the right track. Your chanting is proper. Now, one footnote I want to add here is, generally devotees think my chanting is good because I'm feeling happiness and bliss. This word bliss is very common. I'm feeling blissful, Prabhuji, and happy, so my chanting was very good. But that's not the point. We're not looking for bliss and happiness. That's a side effect of chanting. That's not the parameter of chanting. That's not what scriptures are talking about. Because bliss and happiness, any new devotee can also feel. It can also be a mental thing. It can also be a euphoria. It can also be a temporary sensual excitement. We can't judge your advancement in chanting by this parameter. Okay, second sign is 𝗙cie. 𝗙cie means energy. So in devotion, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, there's a verse in Bhagavad Gita, what's that verse? Yogaksema Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I nourish my devotees by giving them taste, by giving them rasa. And this is a second sign. If your chanting is proper, you will experience ras. Now this is very different. Ras is very different from happiness. Ras technically means, ras is mellows, which one experiences when there are intense feelings for God. So the second symptom of good chanting is you'll develop many feelings for God. A feeling of servitude, a feeling of probably humility, a feeling of fear that I lose my Lord, feeling of frustration that I am not able to serve Him. All these feelings, when they mix, this is called as rasa. Technical language, if you want to know more details, you can read Nectar of Devotion, Rupa Goswami, after chapter 20. He says when anubhav, satvik bhav, vyabhichari bhav, vibhav, these are technical terms, don't worry about that. The idea is when all these emotions and feelings mix, then there is rasa. How many emotions and feelings are there? There are minimum 32 vyabhichari bhav, 5 satvik bhav, 32 plus 5, this is 38. And then vibhav, which are around 4 5 again. So around minimum 50 feelings mixed together, and that's rasa. So you will experience that rasa. And the third thing is 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹. You will get renunciation. Your hunger for this material world will reduce. Your hunger to enjoy this material world will actually subside and will reduce, and that's called vairagya, by the way, renunciation. You will develop renunciation in your heart. You will lose interest in this material world. You will lose interest in the things which you were really interested before doing devotion, and that will be really surprising to you also. So these three signs, if they're happening, if you're chanting, then your chanting is proper, in right direction, you can continue chanting. If these things are not happening, and you're simply feeling bliss or peace or some euphoria, then sorry, you are not chanting properly. You have to set your chanting, you have to get a right technique of chanting, get a consultation from senior devotees, do something, but your chanting is in vain, almost in vain. So please take care, see these three signs and chant properly and advance and go back to Krishna. Hare Krishna. 𝗙cie𝗹𝗶𝗹.